There was just time enough. The Jewish feast of the Passover could not begin while the sun was shining, not until the first 3 stars of evening had appeared. A small group of men were already nearing the gates of the city, a city filled to overflowing with the Jewish faithful. They were on their way to the house of a friend to share the Passover meal. For them, it would be an end and a beginning. The sun was about to disappear. The darkness could be held back no longer. The celebration must begin. The sight in the temple courtyard could not be romanticized. It was appalling. Over 200,000 lambs had been sacrificed today. Their innocent blood flowed over the altar incessantly for hours. Tonight, they would become the shared meal for all of Israel's children. 2 of Jesus' disciples, Peter and John, had spent most of the afternoon preparing this borrowed room for the Passover meal. It must never be forgotten that the followers of Jesus were deeply and fiercely Jewish. And on the 15th Nisan, in the Jewish year 3790, all Jews celebrated the Passover. The men who came here did not come as Christian saints to create a new sacrament. They came as devoted Jews to obey the command of Moses. And if indeed they were to ever become saints, with their likenesses forever cast in the strange glow of stained glass, their actions during the next few hours would have never given them away.
He's starting early tonight, John.
Don't worry about Judas, Peter. Jesus sees right through him.
He's after the head seat.
Don't worry about it. Jesus knows who worked all day today to get things ready for tonight.
Yeah. Who? Who stood in line for 4 hours today at the temple?
It was your turn. I waited last year.
Last year, James sacrificed the lamb.
Well, I stood in line 1 year. Besides, someone with an eye for beauty and a little class had to fix this place up.
So you're going to get the seat of honor because you've got beauty and class?
No. I'm going to sit next to the master because he likes me.
Jesus likes just about everybody.
Did you go?
Except hypocrites.
Simon?
Do you remember who Jesus said he was going to give the keys to his kingdom to?
Yeah, probably to keep you outside at the gates. I'll tell you something, Simon. Excuse me, Peter. Even Jesus doesn't enjoy the smell of stale fish.
John, you spent just as much time on those boats as I did.
Yes, but I just didn't bring my work home with me. Here. And don't raise your voice, Simon. The master doesn't like it.
If you're looking for saints, you may be in for a long wait. No one knows for sure who got the seat of honor to the left of Jesus that night. There's some evidence that Jesus gave the honored position to Judas. If so, it must certainly have been a lesson the disciples would never forget. We do know that John took the seat to Jesus' right, while Peter most likely sat across from John. Peter did not accept the lower position gracefully. For a brief moment, Jesus glanced around the table, studying the faces of these friends he loved. Then he said, "I have earnestly desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. Take this and share it among yourselves. For I say to you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine from now on until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. This night was to be full of the unexpected, full of once missing pieces to a puzzle as old as time. But the behavior of Simon, the one Jesus called Peter, was as predictable as his temper.
Simon, this is a holiday. You can cheer up now. Is something wrong, Simon? Are you sick?
If it weren't for me fighting the crowds in the temple, we'd have no meal tonight.
I know that. So?
So tell me why Judas always sits in the head seat.
Because he's the treasurer, Simon. He's supposed to.
Well, John's not the treasurer, and look where he's sitting.
Why do you always sit there, John?
Answer him, John, when I'm the one who does all the work.
And I'm usually the one who has to do it over again.
That's not true.
Well, if we're going to spend our Passover meal arguing about who sits where, Matthew is the oldest member of our group, and that should count for
Nothing. That should count for exactly nothing.
Maybe I should remind you, Simon, that I was the one who introduced you to Jesus in the first
Stay out of
place.
this, Andrew.
Well, how about that, Simon? He has as much right as anyone.
He's my brother. My little brother. And he'll sit where I tell him to sit.
You won't tell me anything. I'll sit where I like.
Nobody else here has ever walked on water. It happened so many times. I used to wonder why Jesus ever asked me to come with him in the first place. He used to give real good talks. Everybody wanted to be with him just to see what he was going to say next. He could have had anyone he wanted for a friend. But I figured if someone like him wanted to be friends with someone like me, then I'd be a fool not to follow him. I guess Jesus didn't appreciate pride very much. But sometimes it made me feel real important just being with him. Like when we would walk into Capernaum and there'd be these big crowds of people just trying to get a look at Jesus. Sometimes I'd spot some of my friends from the fish market in the crowd. There I'd be, standing right next to Jesus, and him talking to me like I was somebody. I have to admit it. I enjoyed it quite a lot. I guess that's what the disturbance was about that night. See, I knew I wasn't the brightest person in the world. I was a good fisherman. Real good. But I didn't know much about anything else. I remember when I was younger and I used to go to a party, they'd always give me a seat at the back of the room. I'd sit there and I'd watch these lawyers and businessmen walk past me. They didn't even see me. Like I wasn't even there. They'd walk up to their places of honor and everybody would smile at them and congratulate them. And I knew I'd never be like that. Made me feel real bad sometimes. Something I guess I just never got used to. So on this one night, I thought that just once old Simon the fisherman could have the seat of honor. And I could go back to Capernaum and tell the wife and children about the time that Jesus gave me the head seat at the Passover. Well, Jesus could be very hard on you. And he had a real sad way of settling our argument that night. After he got us all quiet, Jesus started acting real strange. He stood up, took off his upper garment, and wrapped a towel around his waist. Like a slave. Then he got a tub of water and walked over to where I was sitting. He sat down beside me and he reached for my sandals. All at once I realized that Jesus, the man that I believed was the Messiah, he was going to wash my feet. Well, I pulled away. I couldn't let him do that. That was the kind of thing a slave would do. I told him outright that he was never going to wash my feet. He could have gotten mad again. But instead he looked at me real patient. And he said, "Simon, if I don't wash you, you have no part with me." And then he just waited. Like he was waiting for me to say, "All right." I couldn't look at him while he was doing it. I was embarrassed. Everyone was watching. It was the hardest thing I ever had to do, letting him do that. I started thinking about all the times with Jesus and how I admired him, looked up to him, almost worshipped him at times. And there he was, washing my feet. Right then, more than anything, I wanted him to know that no matter what, I did want to be with him. I did want to be his person. I was never any good at saying things right. But I leaned over and I whispered, "Lord, not just my feet." After it was over, he looked at me real quietly and politely. He said, "Simon, do you know what I've done?" I couldn't answer him. But I understood.
No. Who, Master?
Jesus answered, "His hand is with me this moment on the table."
it is.
Lord, who is it?
Jesus whispered to John, the one to whom I give the dipped sop.
Rabbi.
Surely not I.
You have said it yourself, Judas. What you do quickly.
There will be people. A great many people, I expect, will say that I betrayed the Messiah tonight. They're wrong. I didn't betray him. He betrayed himself. All of us knew it was over. I was just the only one who decided to do anything about it. You think I wanted it to end this way? I'd followed Jesus for almost 3 years. I followed him everywhere. I got seasick in Galilee. Slept on the ground. Walked through riots in Nazareth. Went for, seemed like forever without a woman. What did it get me? We had to borrow a room for our Passover meal. Well, anyone who claims to be the Messiah had better be able to deliver the goods. A week ago, Jesus could have taken this whole city. Sure, some people would have been killed. Maybe a lot of people. But we would have been free. Instead, he makes some nebulous remark about his kingdom not being of this world. What does that mean? This is the world I know, and the world where I want to make my mark. Jesus had just taken the gamble and thrown off Rome. We'd all have been on the ground floor of a new empire. A Jewish empire. But he didn't. Told me once that it wouldn't profit a man anything if he got possession of the whole world but lost his soul. He just couldn't see that there was another possibility. Maybe a man could have both. Why couldn't he see that? Instead, he talks about the last being the first, the poor being the rich, the persecuted being blessed, those who lose their lives finding it. Does that sound like a Messiah? Does it? So I got out with what I could. Not much to show for 3 years. Enough for a weekend at the ocean. Or a new robe or two. much. But at least it's something I can touch. Something real. Maybe it'll be enough for now.
It would not be enough for Judas. It would never be enough for any man. It's so easy to forget that these men had wives and fiancés and children and longings like all men. They were lonely and afraid and doubtful of the future. They were like us, just like us. That's comforting somehow. What happened during the meal, the sharing of the Paschal lamb, was of such deep significance and beauty that few of us will ever be able to see it. It was the last time that these friends would be together before Jesus' death. Some of them, like Philip, sensed that. Yet, as always, Jesus met their fears with words of comfort and understanding, words they needed very much during that dark night.
Well, I wish I could tell you what he said. I mean, I could tell you what he said, the words, but the meaning. What I heard then and keep hearing every time I remember those words. But I guess that's not up to me. Anyway, there's a big difference between what I understood then and understand now. What I understood then and now is that he loved us. He knew we didn't understand. I mean, it was obvious enough, I guess. But only he knew how deep a misunderstanding went. But he'd just keep talking to us like a parent to a child, as though he somehow knew, or at least hoped, that we'd understand someday. At first, we all tried to be more or less jovial, but it was impossible. It was like trying to be happy at a going-away party or something. How can you be happy when it seems like this party is your last time together? Jesus had decided that he was going to die soon. Well, he'd been right about everything else I could remember, so it didn't make any sense. But what could you say? I think we all began to feel worse and worse inside during the meal. I don't think I was the only one trying to fight back the tears when he said not to be so upset. We believed in God, didn't we? So believe in him too. He said that he was going to get things ready for us. And so, of course, he'd be back for us. Things like that. It helped. It helped a lot.
This cup which is poured out for you is the new covenant in my blood, which is to be shed on behalf of many for forgiveness of sins. Do this as often as you drink it in remembrance of me. Father, the hour has come. Glorify thy Son, that the Son may glorify thee. Holy Father, I have given them thy word, and the world has hated them, because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. I do not ask thee to take them out of the world, but to keep them from the evil one. I do not ask in behalf of these alone, but for those also who believe in me through their word, that they may all be one, even as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be in us, I in them, and thou in me, that they may be perfected in unity, that the world may know that thou didst send me, and didst love them, even as thou didst love me. Greater love has no one than this, that one lay down his life for his friend.